Yo, what's up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about BRICS, what it means, how it's going to impact the dollar, and how we can utilize it in the market there as well. But before we continue, if you are new here, please head over to the educational section. If you are looking to learn more about trading, I have completed a lot of educational videos that can help you. I'm not going to go through the questions today. I will be doing another breakdown tomorrow. I hope most of you were able to quote that beautiful breakdowns that I did on Sunday as the market went exactly as anticipated. Now, without any further ado, let's jump straight into it. How would a new BRICS currency affect the dollar index? Now, that is basically the only thing I need to know, because I understand how a negative dollar would impact the market if I have to do a breakdown. All I need to know is, how is the BRICS going to affect the dollar? If it's going to affect it negatively, positively, that's all I'm here to find out. So today I was about to do my research, and I decided what better way there is there to do the research and see it with you guys at the same time. So we're going to go through all of this information. I'm obviously not going to read all of it, but we're going to go through all of this information. Why do BRICS nations want to create new currency? What would the advantage be of a BRICS currency? How would a new BRICS currency affect the dollar is what I'm here for. How would BRICS currency impact the economy, and how can investors prepare for new BRICS? I'm not going to go through that. Now, basically, BRICS is, think of it in this way, the most simplified version to understand BRICS is basically, think about working for a company, right? Now, you've been working for that company so long, and you see these guys are making a whole lot of money, and you decide, maybe I should start my own company, because if they can make a lot of money, I can do it too, and it will make my life easier. But because you're only one person and your company is big in terms of operational ability, in terms of what they do, you decided, let me see if I can find more people that's willing to take the risk with me, that's willing to come on board with me. And then you go out there and you put processes in place to basically start a new company so that you can compete with your own company, but also in a way that you can make things a lot easier for the people that's interested in purchasing your product. In this case, you have the same situation. Now, the dollar index is the world's most dominant currency. Almost everything that you see is priced in a dollar. Gold, oil, silver, platinum, everything is priced in dollars. Now, countries like Brazil, Russia, India, China, and since 2010 South Africa, they decided to come together and said, you know what, why don't we make our own currencies so that we can compete, or we can actually remove the dollar index from the throne so it can make our lives a bit easier as well, because we know the dollar has been standing for a very long time, but countries are now thinking, why must we always do everything that you do? Why can't we just do our own things? Now, we are going to start with this, with the first section of this paragraph. It says here, the BRICS nation comprised of these countries, which I've just mentioned, and they are looking to establish a new reserve currency backed by a basket of their respective currencies. Now, we obviously know that each country currently has their own currencies. You got the yen in China. In India you got the rupee. In Russia you got the ruble. Brazil, I don't know what they have. Then in South Africa you have the ZAR. So they want to almost like do what they do on Dragon Ball, where they come together and start and become a more stronger Saiyan, so they can fight, so they can be more powerful over there. It says the potential currency, while still under review, when they're referring to the BRICS currency, while still under review and development, would allow these nations to assert their economic independence while competing with the existing international finance system. So that is what they want to do. They want to be independent, stand on their own 2 feet, and not so much rely on USA or the dollar there as well. It says here the current system is dominated by the US dollar, exactly like I said. Now, the same as with your company, they dominate that space that you are in. It's like trading is dominated by people who think they can trade. Today, someone sent me a message of a signal that they saw where someone bought Nasdaq, and I said, "You buying Nasdaq today?" And I just want to show you guys something. And he said, "Ah, yeah." And so I'm like, "You bought Nasdaq only to say it's a very bad time to buy the Nasdaq." Now, why did I tell him that it's a bad time to buy the Nasdaq? Because this is the analysis that I did over here, right? I said, boom, it went exactly as anticipated. You can't buy the Nasdaq at that structural level. It's a bad idea, and that is exactly what happened. The Nasdaq did not go up. You're supposed to buy it on Monday when I told you to buy it, but a lot of people think they know most, like, I'm not going to listen to you. I've got my own student, 10 rand for mentorship. Any case, let's continue. It says here, central to this is going to ongoing situation is the trade war between, the US and China, as well as US sanctions and China and Russia, should the BRICS nation establish a new reserve currency. Now, you know what happens when there is tension between the US and China? That's not good for the stock market because of a lot of companies rely on China in terms of their imports also. And we saw what happened to the stock market when that little situation, when that tension started between the two of them. But if they can go on their own, then maybe they can do what Hawaii did when they decided to leave Google. Now, why do BRICS nations want to create a new currency? Now, I don't even need to answer this, because if you use the analogy that I told you about you starting a new business to compete against your company, but you needed more people to come and help you become stronger, you can use that analogy and you can already tell yourself why they want to do that, right? But it says here the BRICS nations have a slew of reasons of wanting to set up their own currency. Global financial challenges and aggressive US foreign policies have prompted the BRICS countries to explore the possibility. Now, this is what happens when you have to start thinking outside of the box. When people start increasing their prices and they make it so difficult for you to a point where you need to start looking for external ways to come up with your own ideas and how you can do it without having to rely on the only source. For instance, we maybe look at Eskom here in South Africa, right? We've got a lot of problems over here, but if they had competition, they would have probably been a lot better at their job in terms of what they do. The US currently has no competition because they are the most strongest currency. They dominated out there. So in their policies, it's all in the best interest of themselves. So they don't have to really worry about, making certain adjustments. But because it's hurting other countries, they were forced to think outside of the box to make their own dollar index, but they call it the BRICS, which is the first letter of each country's name: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. It says here, the reaction from non-BRICS countries have been a mixed bag. Some nations like Turkey, Egypt, and Saudi Arabia, which is buying every football team that you can think about, are considering. They also want to join into BRICS, and Saudi Arabia has been purchasing Russian oil at record levels as recently as July. South Africa's BRICS ambassador Anil Suklal has said as many as 40 countries have expressed interest in BRICS. Now, this is what happens. You have that effect where more people are starting to get interested. It's like a scam. It's like an investment scam. It's like a pyramid scam in South Africa where someone says, I can do investments for you, but then I pay you out, and then I slowly pay you back your investment, and you think you're getting returns, and then so you get more people to invest, and then once I get all of your money, I run away or I disappear as well. Now, this is what happens. You can see how other countries are starting to show their interest in the BRICS currency as well, because there's a lot of benefits for them to take from this year as well. It says, however, some experts believe that a BRICS currency is a flawed idea, as it would unite countries with a very different economies. There are also concerns that non-Chinese members might increase their dependence on the China's one. Now, there's always that person that goes, this might not work because of X, Y, and Z. But you know what? You'll never know unless you try. And it's a good thing that they are actually starting to do something. And they are having these talks. Well, I'm talking to you here. They're having these talks here as well. Just to be fully transparent and open and honest with you guys, my knowledge in regards to BRICS is not at the top of the table. So I'm basically learning this with you guys as we go along, because this is all new to me, and this is all going to be the another way of me being able to apply this in the market. Because like Euro USD, you're probably going to get BRICS USD and BRICS GBP, because they might, or they're also going to start getting into the foreign exchange market there as well. It says here a new currency could have several benefits. Let's talk about the benefits of having a competitor against the dollar index, which is weird though, because the Chinese yuan is basically competing with the dollar of being the strongest currency also. It says here a new currency could have several benefits for BRICS countries, including more efficient cross-border transactions and increased financial inclusions by leveraging blockchain technology, digital currencies, and smart contracts. The currency could revolutionize. It sounds like sounds like sounds like one of those Instagram ads, that you click on and the guy walks in comes out of his Lamborghini. The global financial system, thanks to seamless cross-border payments, it could also promote trade and economic integrations amongst BRICS nations and beyond. A new BRICS currency would also strengthen economic integration within BRICS countries, which is what we need here. We need all the help we can get. Reduce the influence of the US on global stage. Thank you. You guys need to stay exactly where you are, because whenever they hike interest rates, then we have to sit there like, my man, you're hiking interest rates. Now you're getting, so now the index is strong, and now when you want to import something from the US, you need to pay more. Weaken the standing of the US dollar. That is exactly what we are here for, to understand how it's going to impact the dollar. So we know now that the dollar is going to weaken. I've also made a post on my Instagram not too long ago saying the same exact thing. It's all about understanding how the BRICS is going to impact the dollar. You don't really need to spend too much time understanding what it does and what it do and what it don't, and you just need to understand, is it going to have a positive effect or a negative effect? In this case, we know it's going to have a negative effect as well. It says here, how would the new BRICS currency affect the dollar? It says here, for decades the US dollar has enjoyed, can you see what happens? This is what happens when you have no competition. Has enjoyed unparalleled dominance as the world leading reserve currency. As it stands, the dollar is used in over 74% of all international trade, 90% of currency exchanges, nearly 100% of oil trades, and just under 60% of all foreign currency reserves are held by central banks. Now you see why there is a need for them. They can't anymore. Like, the dollar just wants to take over the people, like they just want to take over the world. And that is why these leaders are coming together, the smart ones and the non-smart. They're coming together. It's like, hey, we have to create our own currency so that we can compete against the dollar. And competition is always not good for the for the opposition, because that normally means that you can expect some loss in value, because now there is two options. Now there's more than one option. Think of it just having just one brand, and all of that brand make all the money, and then all of a sudden there's a competition now, and then people's like, I've got options now, so I don't want to go here, I want to go there. So it says here, although the dollar's reserve currency said had decreased as the euro and so the euro has been coming on very strong, but now that the Bank of England and obviously the inflation in UK had dropped, so that means no more interest rate hikes. So the euro is probably going to weaken as well. The yen, I haven't taken a look at but I haven't taken a look at the yen yet. It says here the potential impact of BRICS currency on the dollar remains uncertain. So again, like I said before, we have to be reactive and not predictive. The idea is to understand what BRICS is, and more focused on would it weaken. As far as we know, it will weaken the dollar index. And here it says, how would BRICS currency impact the economy? It says here the potential shift towards a new BRICS currency could have significant implications on North American economy and investors operating within it. Some of the most affected sectors include oil and gas, which is US oil, banking and finance, commodities, international trade, technology, aka the NASDAQ 100, tourism and travel, and the foreign exchange market there as well. So as we await, I'm gonna stop there, right? I will leave a link to this article in the description below if you guys do want to go read it. So as we understand now, these people, these countries, they are currently here in South Africa, in the city of Johannesburg, right? They are currently meeting there, speaking about how they are going to start this, create this new currency to compete against the dollar. If they are successful, we do know that the index is going to weaken. Please let me know your thoughts about this. What do you know about the BRICS? What are your expectations, if you have any? Drop them down in the comments below, and please don't be shy to smash that thumbs up button there as well, because a lot of work go into creating the content and research for you guys there as well. That is it from my side. Thank you for your time, and as always, cheers for the years.